welcome up contestant number 7. Teri Bennett. I really don't understand men. I really don't understand men. Teri Bennett.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and very honored guests. I really don't understand. And I wonder if anybody else in this hall ever suddenly seems to find the opposite sex as totally different species? Because this has happened to me, and it bothered me. So I did some research, and I read Dave Barry's Complete Guide to Guys. That ought to do it. He said that there's this theory that guys are innately more violent than the females due to physical trauma early in childhood circumstances. But he also said if you really wanted to see violence in guys, try circumcising them later. For whatever reason, guys do seem more comfortable with violence. Now, my oldest 2 grandsons, who are, of course, perfect, when they were 2 and 3, their parents took them to the Renaissance Festival where they got tiny swords. And I just happened to stop in for a visit the following day. And they were playing with their little swords in the room. When I came in and sat down on the couch and said, "Boy, Nana has brought you a pinwheel. See how pretty?" And I turned and beheld the Khans, Genghis, and Kublai, charging toward me with their tiny swords raised high and maniacal grins on their faces. Well, their mother screamed, "Non-combatant!" And they stopped. Now, if you have a 2-year-old who is intimately familiar with the word non-combatant, yeah, you probably have a little boy. Now they're 13 and 14 and not quite as perfect because they're covered with bruises, and no, their parents do not beat them. I know this because they spent most of the summer at my house, where they had this alarming tendency to, at unpredictable times, apropos of absolutely nothing, one of them would leap on the other, get him in a certified wrestling hold, and proceed to try to punch the stuffing out of him. This throws me into hysterics every time, and I have to dash over there to try to protect whichever one is on the bottom at the moment, which they find hysterical. And they keep trying to explain to me, "Nana, this is fun." It does not compute. Girls don't do that. Oh, girls fight. But they come at it from the other door. 1, there are no rules when girls fight. The object is to put in as much damage as you can in the shortest amount of time and still survive. And that's because girls don't fight for fun. They fight because they're either frightened or really, really angry. And they don't ambush anybody because you know after 2 to 10 minutes of verbal abuse what's coming, or honey, you have not been paying attention. We're so different. The fact is that the girl is willing to stand there and yell at you for 10 minutes is another difference. And they studied this. Preschoolers. They told them they had to come in for an interview for kindergarten. And then they put a hidden camera in the waiting room. 2 chairs about a foot apart, facing forward, and first the boys. The first boy comes in, he's sitting, he's looking around. After a couple of minutes, the door opens, he sees the second 5-year-old coming in. Right away, he faces forward. The second boy sits in the other chair, and they both, staring straight forward, proceed to start a conversation of about 1 word every 3 minutes. And to me, they look like a couple of retired farmers gazing out. Might rain. Yep. The girls, well, you know the girls did. First girl's looking around, the door opens. The second girl isn't even in the room yet. And they both start talking. 5,000 words a minute. I swear those girls did not breathe. First girl jumps up. They move the chairs so they're facing each other and much closer because furniture rearranging and sharing comes very early in the evening. And they're just both talking as fast as they can. This is my new best friend. And before that nosy interviewer brings us up, I got to share everything about everything. They're very different. And you know, there is strength in diversity. So, here's the plan. Put a Toastmaster in every high school, in every grade school. So these kids learn how to communicate clearly. And I don't know if I can promise world peace, but I honestly think we might make a real dent in the battle between the sexes. Mr. Toastmaster.